Good afternoon, dear friends, and welcome to our new Cathar Center in America, in Kansas. We are disciples of John Bogomil, and we are devotees of a Cathar spiritual path of the great Church of Love. And here we're in America to restore this unique tradition of good Christianity, of good people, how Cathars called themselves. Before we begin, we want to ask you to set aside everything you know about the Cathars, and probably most of you know about them for only one reason, that almost everything we know and which is written in books about the Cathars is written by the direct enemies of the good people, by the Roman Inquisition. That's why 99% of what you know is either a lie or it is distorted. And opposite to the well-known about the knowledge of the Cathars that they were all destroyed, we admit that this branch was never destroyed. It survived up to our days. Throughout the centuries, this unique tradition still exists now. And John Bogomil, the modern-day Cathar perfect and prophet, he brings back the unique message and the spirit of the Cathars, fulfilling the prophecy of the last medieval Cathar prophet Guillaume de Ribast in 1391. Before he was burned at the stake, he pronounced his famous prophecy that in 700 years the laurel will become green again, and the Cathar Great Church of Love will flourish. And at that time, he said, we will come to be victorious. Externally, it seems like we lose, but in spirit, through this martyrdom, we become immortal and we will come again. And now we are all in these end times, according to many prophecies. We face the unique revival of the authentic spirituality of Catharism. In fact, we claim that Catharism didn't appear in the 12th century and existed till something 14th century. It has a thousands-year-long history, which began even before Christ. The Catharism, it is one of the branches of the ancient Atlantis and Hyperborea, two of the greatest civilizations of the past, where there was no evil on the earth, the civilizations of the Golden Age. And the new Golden Age is approaching, and Catharism is the spirituality which answers the ultimate questions of the modern world and of the main issues of the existence. Catharism is not a religion, as you may assume, but it is the way of living, the civilizational order where humanity is as one family, with a kind father, kind mother, kind universe, and a multitude of kind worlds around us. Such great prophets and masters like Zoroaster, Buddha, Christ, many and thousands of those whom we do not know, we may say that they all belong to the same tradition. They brought the message of the Father, of the kind Father. And if we come back into the Christian history of the Cathars, it's very important to return to the culmination, to the summit of the Christ's life and Christ's message, which was on the cross. And these lines in those Gospels, which survive to our days, show us a unique occasion which happened at the time of the crucifixion. We can read it in the John's Gospel 19:25. It is said that when Jesus saw his mother Mary and the disciple John, the beloved disciple of him, standing nearby, Christ said to his mother, "Here is your son." And then he turned to the disciple, to John, and said, "Here is your mother." And Cathars understand these lines as the direct sign of that Christ dedicated his disciples, his church, his message to Mary, to the mother. In the person of John, it was all humanity, and in the person of Mary, it was the universal great goddess, the Virgin Mother. And after that, we know that Mary had to escape from Jerusalem, and she find shelter in Ephesus. It was Greece at those times, it's modern Turkey, and the Nightingale Mountain, the most sacred place of Christianity, where the original Christian school, the first school, Joseph of Arimathea, and hundreds of other apostles started. The authentic Christianity, which was the opposite to the other branch of Peter and Paul, who, according to Cathar knowledge, were the agents of Sanhedrin and were the enemies of Christ. And this is explains the phenomenon of the struggle between good Christians and so-called Holy Inquisition, those who persecuted authentic messengers of Christ. So Catharism, within the Christian history, it is the branch of Ephesus, of those who inherited the spiritual treasure of Christ through Divine Mother Mary. So, несколько слов об истории христианства.
Всем известно о появлении христианства, связанного с Евангелием, евангельское христианство.
All of us know the Christianity of the Gospel.
Другая ветвь христианства связана была с апостолами.
The other branch of Christianity is linked to apostles, Orthodox Church, Catholic Church.
Но было еще более раннее христианство.
But there was Christianity before that.
Его условно можно назвать до апостольское и до евангельское.
We may call it the Christianity before Gospels and before the apostles.
И даже можно назвать его до голгофским христианством.
And you may even call it Christianity before the Golgotha.
Оно было связано именно с Божьей Матерью.
We may link that Christianity with the name of the Divine Mother.
Когда Христос пришел через Марию в этот мир,
when Christ came into this world through Mary,
он учился не только у Небесного Отца.
He learned not only from the Heavenly Father.
Он много совершенному человеческому учился у своей матери.
He learned a lot from his mother.
Многие мудрецы древности говорили,
Many ancient sages used to say,
что Бог создал рай для людей.
That God created paradise for people.
И создал рай для себя.
And created paradise for himself.
Рай для него это Мария.
And the paradise for him, for the Father, was Mary.
Его называли марианское христианство.
That Christianity was called the Marian Christianity.
И даже если вы посмотрите на древние иконы,
and if you look at ancient icons,
они очень символичны.
They are very symbolic.
Их нужно читать, понимать.
It is required to read them and understand them.
В центре христианства, когда ушел уже Христос после того,
when Christ passed away after the Golgotha,
остается Мария.
The focal point of Christianity was Mary.
Преемница Христа.
She was the heir of
Она
Christ.
Первый глава христианской
She is the first head of the Christian spiritual community.
Еще один момент выделяют катары.
Cathars also indicate one more aspect in relation to Christianity.
Для катаров очень важен аспект распятия.
Crucifixion is very important for the Cathars.
Это кульминация Евангелия.
It is the culmination of the gospel.
И то, что там происходит, это духовно, и тоже нужно уметь это прочитать.
And it's very necessary to read what happened there.
Когда Христос на кресте уходит, умирает,
When Christ passed away,
Он говорит уникальные слова.
he said the unique words.
Он говорит любимому ученику Иоанну,
He told to his beloved disciple,
который был для него символом совершенного слышащего
he was the
человека.
symbol of the perfect humanity which was able to hear the voice of Christ.
И вот он с креста ему говорит:
And from the cross he said,
вот мать твоя,
this is your
показывает на
mother,
Марию.
and indicates Mary,
Хотя мать Иоанна была рядом.
although the mother of John was nearby.
И потом говорит Марии: а это твой сын.
And then he said to Mary, it's your son.
Как понимать духовно это
How do
событие?
we understand this event spiritually?
Христос с точки зрения катаров
From the point of view of the Cathars, Christ
показал путь к Нему.
showed the path towards him.
Сам Христос — это путь к Отцу.
Christ himself is the path,
А как прийти к Христу?
and how may we?
То раннее христианство,
And this is the essence of the early Christianity,
из которого черпает свою
from
мудрость
where
католизм.
Catharism draws its wisdom.
And how we can understand nature of Cathars. First of all, Cathars revealed for us true Father who exists without evil, who doesn't contain any evil within him, who has vision on humanity, a special vision. Humanity for true Father like divinity, not only like sons and daughters, not like creation, but first of all like divinities. And Divine Father doesn't wait from humanity repentance, confession, feeling of guilt, yes, but only one purpose lives in true Father. Father wants share a lot of exceeding love on humanity, on his sons, daughters, and this purpose is divinization of humanity. But for divinization, it could be whole way, whole spiritual path. For that, Divine Father sent to the earth Divine Mother. There is a very great trauma which has humanity. Trauma of wrong father. Cathars taught during ancient time through dragon occupied our earth, and this dragon called himself like God. Yes, and through this wrong image of Father, humanity don't accept love of Father. That's why
That's why your father sends the mother before him.
Yes, beloved mother should reveal true Father. This main idea of Cathar's teaching.
В чем разница или сходство между евангельским христианством
What is the difference between the Christianity of the gospel,
апостольским христианством,
Christianity of the
от
apostles,
которого идет современная церковь,
from where modern churches come,
и катарским христианством,
and the Christianity of the Cathars,
христианством Божьей Матери.
Christianity of the Divine Mother?
Апостолы ходили со Христом, всем известно, 3 года.
Apostles, they were with Christ for 3 years, as we know.
И Христос их учил мудрости.
And Christ shared his divine wisdom with them.
Если это сравнить, например, со школьной программой,
If we compare it to the school program,
они прошли первые 3 года обучения.
they studied for 3 first years in the school of divine wisdom.
Мария была со Христом все 33 года его жизни.
Mary was all 33 years of Christ's earthly life,
И после его ухода,
and
вознесения,
after his assumption,
он к ней приходил еще 16 лет,
he came to visit her for
Открывал-
16 more years
сказал те духовные тайны,
and revealed those spiritual mysteries
которые не способно было воспринять человечество.
which humanity could not accept in his earthly days.
Почти 50 лет,
So
45 лет
almost
наставлений.
50 years of his exhortations.
За это время может стать уже профессором
50 years, you
самой
may
высокой
become an
степени.
academician, a professor of the highest grade.
Так вот, есть христианство 3 класса,
So
а
there is the
есть
Christianity of the third,
христианство самой высокой степени
and there
профессора.
is Christianity of the highest grades of professor.
Сейчас пришло время,
And now it is the time
когда человечество готово к тем тайнам, которые открывает премудрость
when the
Мария.
humanity is ready for those mysteries which divine wisdom Maria reveals.
Вот для этого нужно иметь внутреннее мужество, принять
And
новое,
for that we need
что открывает
an
Бога.
inner courage, bravery to accept everything new which is revealed today. If we just a small remark about Catharism in the history also, that we need to understand the roots of the Protestant movement in the world. America has a great tradition of the Christian church, of the Protestant church, and as you may know, that the first reformer, as he was called, the reformer, was John Wycliffe, the professor of the Oxford University. He was born in 1320 or 1324, according to different sources, and it was the time, as we may see, of the end of existence of the Cathar Church, according to the Roman calendars. As we said, the last prophet of the Cathars, Kirion Beribast, was burned 1321. And John Wycliffe, being a professor, being highly educated and well known all over the world, he became the messenger, the preacher of the Cathar message. He is not famous for translating Bible into English language, not at all. What he was doing, he was opening the great mysteries of the Cathar path. And after him, there was a movement of lowlords. You may find out about them. They were called English Cathars. They were wandering musicians, bards, preachers who were bringing the ideas and message of John Wycliffe of the Cathars. Later on, Jan Hus, the Czech reformer, messenger, and pilgrim, he succeeded this idea, the ideas of John Wycliffe, and he was burned at the stake for that very reason. And after that, Martin Luther and other Protestant leaders appeared. So, what Cathars are doing in America? The history doesn't say those facts that Cathars came to America much before the inquisitors, the conquistadors came. It was early 11th, 12th, 13th century when ships with Knights Templar, Cathars, and different branches of good people, Quakers, they came to America to establish here the beautiful civilization, the new world, the new light, the Atlantis, which survived up to those times here on the lands of America. And when the Cathars came here, they just gave the new breath. They lived in perfect harmony with Native Americans, and the ideas of authentic Christianity was an absolute harmony and understanding of Native Americans. Why we speak about Catharism today in America? It is, we believe, the foundation of highest ideas and virtues of America, which were put in the basis of this civilization in the very beginning. Before, as we said, the Inquisition started here. Few words about the mysteries of Catharism.
Mhm. Yes, it is very important to understand in mentality of Catharism, Christ continued his message after crucifixion. And what is the problem of which have a branch of Peter and Paul? This branch doesn't know about this message which continued after crucifixion of Christ. But this message which continued in Nightingale Mountain knows branch of John's branch. John's branch we can call like a Catharism in different ways, like a Templars, like minstrels, minisingers, which gave to the earth a lot of anointed ones, a lot of Christs, a lot of Buddhas, Zoroastrians, and Nightingale Mountain. It focus in teaching of Cathars. At the center of Cathar's teaching. During 15 years, Divine Mother, she was teaching a lot of disciples. A lot of disciples went to Divine Mother, and they lived during some time nearby Divine Mother, and it was enough to be some hours nearby to Divine Mother, как люди просветлялись.
And people become enlightened very quickly.
And Divine Mother put Gospel of Christ, Gospel of Divine Mother, not by the words in hearts of disciples, but by the sphere, by her presence on the earth, and to be nearby of Divine Mother заменяла многие варианты.
It was greater than reading many of the Holy Scriptures. It was the Divine Mother, we may call her the living Scripture, the Gospel which is always new.
Yes, she is exceeding wisdom. She's not only Virgin Mary, like we can see in corrupted scriptures in different branches of Christianity, but according to teaching of Cathars, she she has a lot of images. She has a lot of hypostases. And the main hypostasis is exceeding wisdom. Exceeding wisdom is the very important hypostasis paradigm.
And the paradigm, the principle. Everyone who seeks the truth has to learn the three main mysteries of the earth. And to answer these three main questions, first is the mystery of God. The second is the mystery of a man. And the third is the mystery of the earth. The mystery of God is that it is the Father who is infinitely kind, who has no evil, no punishment, no sin in himself. The tragedy of the modern world and of the Christian world in particular is that people don't know the Father. If you remember the lines of the John's Gospel, when I'll just read that Christ said, if you had known me, you would have known my Father also, he said. It was the direct claim that he came from a different Father, not from the God of Old Testament, who even doesn't call himself the Father. He's the God, people are slaves, and if he's the Lord and people are slaves, he may do with them anything he wants. Kill, punish, love them sometimes, and a minute after that, he can just execute them.
Yes, and even in official Gospels, Christ a lot of times said, "You don't know about my Father." Absolutely, don't know. Humanity, it means humanity don't know true image of Father.
And for that, we need to understand and read authentically who Christ was. We know that he was born in Bethlehem to Mary immaculately, and Cathar scriptures say that he was the prince of Parthia. It was the civilization of those times, which existed 2.5 centuries before and 2.5 centuries after Christ. And he belonged to a royal family, and he was brought up in the tradition of Zoroastrianism. He succeeded the divine wisdom which Zoroaster brought from the Father. And the name of the Father, which we know from Zoroastrianism, is Ahura Mazda. Ahura Mazda. We also use and mention this name for one reason. It is the most authentic of the names of the Father we know in our civilization. There are many, many different other names in Dagda, Svarog, and dozens of different names of the Father. Yeah, Divinity, Zeus, but Ahura Mazda, which is translated as the divine heavenly wisdom, is the most authentic. And Christ, when he was speaking about the Father, he knew his name and he pronounced his name, Ahura Mazda. And this explains the message of Christianity. Authentic Christianity of the Cathars have a deep roots in Zoroastrianism, and the main aspect of that is discernment between goodness and evil, and following the path of goodness. The golden triad of Ahura Mazda is very simple and the universal rule for earthly life: kind thoughts, kind words, and kind deeds. It's available for everyone. At the same time, it's a heroic feat to live this way.
If we can compare for image Father of Christ, and Christ message of Zoroaster about Father. It is the same Father. It's Ahura Mazda. It means Christ's continued message of Zoroaster in time of Christ, in time of Divine Mother, in first century. A message of Zoroaster was continued by Christ about Ahura Mazda, in the same message, in the same nature of Father. And we can recognize image of Father Ahura Mazda, Zoroastrian Father Ahura Mazda, from heart of Christ.
Насколько зороастризм близок к христианству?
We need to identify and understand how Zoroastrianism is close to Christianity.
Вот это золотое правило.
The golden rule:
Добрые мысли,
kind thoughts,
добрые слова
kind words,
и добрые дела.
and kind deeds.
В этом все истинное христианство.
This is the essence of the true Christianity.
И насколько христианство далеко от иудаизма.
And how Christianity is far away from Judaism.
Иудаизм был зациклен только на одном народе.
Judaism was around only one tribe.
Часто порабощая окружающих.
And what they were doing, they were conquering other nations around them.
Когда евреи пришли на эту территорию, где они сейчас живут,
When Jews came to the territory where they live now,
они уничтожили 20 народов.
they destroyed 20 nations.
Уникальная вещь, которую пропускают христианские историки.
The unique moment of the history which Christian historians miss,
Может, намеренно.
or probably they do it on purpose.
Между религиями, между духовными школами есть эстафета. Такая эстафета.
There is like a pursuit, like a succession between different spiritual schools and traditions.
У каждой религии и духовной школы есть тоже своя жизнь. Дата рождения, условно говоря, дата смерти.
There is a date of birth and date of conditionally death of every single religion.
Зороастризм наработал очень много мудрости.
Zoroastrianism has a lot of wisdom.
И в пророческих книгах зороастризма
And in the prophetic books of Zoroastrianism,
говорится о Христе.
they speak about Christ.
Придет Христос, ему нужно передать эстафету,
That Christ,
водительство на людей.
new Zoroaster will come, and we need to pass it on to him, the wisdom of Zoroastrianism.
И вы все помните, как пришли волхвы.
And do you remember all how sages came to Bethlehem to Christ?
Кто такие волхвы?
Who were those sages?
Это великие посвященные
They
зороастризму.
were the great initiates of Zoroastrianism.
Они принесли золото, ладан.
They brought gold, they
Духовные
brought
символы.
incense, spiritual symbols.
И так произошло переход из зороастризма в христианство.
And this is how this transition from Zoroastrianism into Christianity happened.
Удивительно, но корни христианства в зороастризме.
It might be shocking, but the roots of Christianity are Zoroastrian.
Между зороастризмом и христианством нет противостояния.
There is no contradiction between Christianity and Zoroastrianism.
Как между иудаизмом и христианством.
But there is a lot of contradictions between Judaism and Christianity.
Можете это маленькую паузу музыкальную?
Just a short prayer meditation, and then we continue.
Корабелы белые плывут по воздухам, внимайте слову праведным слухом. Корабелы белые плывут по воздухам, внимайте слову праведным слухом. Добрый универсум, распечатай совести, караваны весные препоясай поясам. Добрый универсум, распечатай совести, короба небесные, препоясай поясам. Матушки Аманты против злой нечисти и оккупантов. Матушки Аманты против злой нечисти и оккупантов.
So it was the first mystery, the mystery of God. The second is the mystery of man. The man is a deity by origin. We all may know about the legend, the story of Atlantis. Thousands of years ago, Atlantis was widespread on the earth. It was the civilization of absolute goodness, the civilization when gods lived on the earth, and there was no difference actually between gods and humans. It was one family, and there was no border between earth and heavens, and gods may come down to the earth. Humans could ascend the spiritual staircase to highest heavens. It was the time when the spiritual sun of divine love was shining on the earth, and there was no place for evil God, for any evil forces. There was a very strong shield, and that was the civilization of a goddess Virgin Mother. She was in the center. A special dedication to her was in the basis of that shining civilization. And America was one of the last oases of the presence of Atlantis, American Atlantis, which amazed the minds of many Europeans. We remember the works of Francis Bacon, Tommaso Campanella, Thomas More, the Utopia, the shining civilization of the sun. And it was not their imagination, their dreams, it was their reality which Roman Inquisition faced when they came first to America. And in those times of Atlantis, especially in the Golden Age, which ended approximately 10,000 years ago, was the mystery of a man, living deities. And the end of Atlantis happened with a very special spiritual term of Catharism, which is called adaptive remodeling. What happened at those times? It's around from 10 to 7,500 years ago. The Lucifer started to tempt the earth, and Atlantis, who didn't know evil, who didn't know lust, sin, they were seeking, their spiritual path was seeking higher and higher initiations into the divine love. And this was the way how Lucifer tempted some of the Atlanteans. As a result of the temptation, one part, probably 20% or less of Atlantis, started to seek this love, which later opened up as sexual earthly love, and they were trapped by Lucifer, by the dark forces, and it led to a series of ethereal operations, which was necessary, according to Lucifer, to be able to accept this new type of love, which was not at all divine love. It was the direct temptation. And as a result of those iterations, divinities, they lost fifth part of their divine potential. They were put into a deep sleep and became modern, Homo sapiens throughout many iterations. It happened so, and the other part of Atlanteans, they decided to leave the Earth. We say that Atlantis didn't perish, but it survived, but it moved to a different dimension where they become untouchable by evil, by the temptations of Lucifer. And modern dwellers of the earth, according to Catharism, are former Atlanteans, are those who fell, who started to seek these earthly types of pleasure, and gradually degraded, and at the same time we know that in the heart, in the spiritual essence of every single human, there is the fullness of divinity, but it is in sleep, and the aim of a spiritual path is to awaken this divine potential within us and erase everything which was brought in us by the prince of this world.
What is the difference between Homo sapiens and original human? There are three things. There is one thing is furnace. It's the thing which Lucifer penetrated in
in the astral body of Homo sapiens.
Yes. Second thing which was penetrated by Lucifer, coal, like rancor. It's a thing consecrated evil in heart of people. And the third part of Homo sapiens is rationality. Rationality means another mentality of humanity.
That's what scientists called reptilian brain.
Reptilian brain. Reptilian brain, like it explained all elders, it means snake. Snake lives in head of people and corrupted picture of this world. Through this brain, reptile's brain, Homo sapiens can't authentic vision of this world. Of this world corrupted by this snake. And through a spiritual path, humanity calls by Divine Mother, defeat these three things which
Prince of this world inserted into the in the humanity. And this is, as we said about the adaptive remodeling, this is the result of the adaptive remodeling, these three evil centers of a fallen humanity.
С тайной человека связаны еще два духовных центра человека.
There are two spiritual centers in ethereal bodies of the humans, which explain the mystery of a man.
Катары говорят, что в человеке помимо физического сердца
Cathars say that apart from the physical
есть
heart,
два духовных сердца.
there are two spiritual hearts in
Одно
humanity.
сердце находится в районе груди, в
One
другом
heart
пространстве.
is in this dimension of the breast.
Это сердце дано премудростью.
It is the heart of the divine wisdom.
Оно представляет себе маленькое солнце,
It's
лучащее
a small
любовь
sun
небесную.
which radiates divine love.
Оно побуждает человека к состраданию,
And
милосердию,
it forces
заботе.
humanity for kindness, mercy, care of others.
Но в человеке втеснено и другое сердце.
But there is also a different heart.
В районе чересел,
Here, just in
в другом пространстве, находится черный
a
шар,
different dimension, as we said in the astral bodies, there is a dark ball.
который это дар дьявола.
This is a gift of the
Оно
devil.
тоже дает энергию
It also gives you
Темную.
energy, but this is the dark
и
energy
побуждает человека к агрессии,
and forces humanity to
к узурпации.
to be aggressive, to usurp
Ненависть.
others, to hate others.
И человек живет двумя этими сердцами.
And what is characteristic of a human being? That
Потому-
people live with those both hearts.
И потому сегодня он тебя любит,
That's why today your near one loves you,
а завтра может тебя убить.
and then it may happen
Один и
that
тот же человек.
one kills another.
Почему такие
The same
перепады?
person. Why there is such an amplitude?
Потому что включаются разные сердца.
Because different hearts activate in different periods of time.
Задача духовного человека
And the purpose of a spiritual person
найти способ уменьшить действие жупела, это же
to find to
темного сердца,
decrease the influence of the dark heart.
основа эгоизма.
It is the basis of egoism, of
И
ego,
максимально развить духовное сердце данного.
and to develop the spiritual heart as much as it is possible. The third mystery is the mystery of the earth. First of all, the earth was originally born as a goddess. From different mythology, we know that earth was always worshipped as the mother, personification of the mother. Earth was a spiritual sun in previous civilizations. And when the fall of man took place, after the adaptive remodeling, the same happened with the earth. Environment, nature, animals, birds, everything was subjected to this dark change to evil. At the same time, there is a great mystery about the earth, that earth is in some sense greater than heavens. To understand this, we may give an example of millions of martyrs on the earth. John Bogomil, or as his close disciples, sons and daughters, call him Father John, wrote a series of books about the suffering of humanity in the 20th century. Divine Wisdom called it the second Golgotha. And one of the central places of that Golgotha was the place called Soul of Key. It is geographically, it's an island in the Northern Sea. And it was the first concentration camp of the Soviet Gulag, where hundreds and thousands, actually millions of most advanced, brightest, smartest and beautiful souls were sent. Spiritual people, artists, engineers, political activists, absolutely different people. They were all gathered on that island, and they were in the situation when you could hardly survive. The architects of the Gulag made it that it's approximately 3 months the life expectancy of those who became the prisoners of Solovki concentration camp. And in this paradoxical environment of total evil, of death everywhere, of tortures, of unbearable suffering, happened one of the main mysteries of our civilizations. In thousands of people, the divine potential was revealed and released. In the situation when they were forced to kill the near one, to become an informer, whistleblower, to betray your near one, to just to fight for yourself. Thousands and millions literally gave our lives for the sake of your brother, of the one whom you don't know. They forget their names, they forget their past, they were in the situation when all your past life just disappeared in some days and weeks. But a different world revealed to them, the world of the divine love, which doesn't exist even in high heavens. And this is one of the main mysteries of the earth, that even great gods from highest heavens, they come on our planet to experience that love which they don't know and cannot achieve in those heavens. And they come and they are ready to suffer. And this suffering is sacred. It is dedicated to the divine wisdom. This suffering is for the sake of humanity, for the sake of those who are suffering without any purpose, those who are lost in this world, who are lost in many other worlds, and there are dark worlds as well. They come into this world, and through that their own Golgotha, the experience of Christ, they become Christs themselves, and they open the stream of this divine love onto the earth.
For understanding the mystery of the earth, it's necessary pay attention on one history from Zoroastrian tradition. History when our earth contained a lot of evil, and in such way, worlds, yes, to enter to our earth, to come into our earth, it's very great honor in Cathar's teaching. And we also can pay attention on the one story from Avesta. Avesta is a gospel or scripture of Zoroastrianism. Father Ahura Mazda has a great desire to come to the earth and help people to
liberate themselves from evil.
To liberate from evil. And that's why Father Ahura Mazda called Council of Divinities, Council of Elders from Humanity, and asked him to help him in the battle and struggle with evil on the earth. And this story shows us another nature of God. In Cathar's tradition, Divine Father is not almighty, потому что он другой природы.
Because he is of a different nature.
То, что он ограничен.
Because he is limited in doing evil. He cannot do evil.
His language in different situations. Only language of love and language of goodness. In very complicated and difficult circumstances, in the earth, in the hell, he also rejects language of evil and use only language of love. That's why he needs help from humanity, from divinities. And the story from Zoroastrianism tell us that humanity, elders, divinities, дали согласие прийти.
They gave their consent to come into this world.
Yeah. And help a lot to our Father. That's why we have a lot of anointed ones on the earth. Christ, Buddha, Zoroaster, different anointed ones who were persecuted by inquisitors, by forces of evil. But this struggle between evil and goodness continue, and we can defeat by spiritual path, defeat evil within us, and in such way we can help for a lot of people.
Да. Чтобы понять тайну Земли,
To understand the mystery of the earth,
нужно на Землю посмотреть как бы со стороны.
it is necessary to look on the earth from side.
Зачем приходим в этот мир?
Why do we come into this world?
Уникальный взгляд катаризма.
The vision of Catharism is unique in this way.
Первое.
First of all,
Земля – перекресток миров.
the earth is an intersection of many worlds.
Посмотрите, какое разнообразие на Земле.
Look, what a great variety of different species is on the earth.
От бактерий,
From
животных, рыб до
bacteria to
человека.
animals, fish, and humans.
Каждый из них представляет отдельный мир.
And every single living creature on the earth is an envoy of a certain world.
И катаризм говорит,
And Catharism
что
says
каждый из этих существ
that every single of those species
пришли на эту планету
came into this world
учиться нести крест любви.
to learn how to bear the cross of love.
Не крест наказания,
Not the cross of punishment,
не крест страданий,
not the cross of a suffering,
а научиться питаться небесной любовью
but to learn how to be nourished
и помочь
from the
ближним
heavenly
открыть
love
эту небесную любовь.
and to help our near ones to open that heavenly love.
С землей связана тайна любви.
The mystery of love is linked to the earth.
Катар различает несколько уровней любви.
There are several levels, grades of love in Cathar teaching.
Есть физическая
There
любовь,
is a physical love.
рождаются дети.
Children are born.
Есть родственная
Wait.
любовь.
There is love between relatives.
Она менее связана с физиологией, же больше с сердцем.
It is less physical, it's more of the heart.
Есть дружеская любовь.
There is love of friends.
Есть
Friendship.
любовь к земле.
There is love towards nature.
Есть небесная
There
любовь.
is heavenly love.
Есть пренебесная.
There is a supreme heavenly
А
love.
есть превыше
But
небесная.
there is a love which is supreme heavenly love.
А есть самая высокая.
And there is the highest love above all.
Катари называют минне.
And Cathars call that love minne.
Это очень
It
обжигающее.
is a very burning love.
Вот ради чего пришел человек на землю.
This is the purpose of coming into this world.
Возможно, не только человек.
Maybe not only for humans, but for
Научиться-
other species as well.
Научиться жить этой небесной любовью.
How to live according to that heavenly love.
Бог создал не из ничего.
We understand that God created humanity not out of nothing.
Эта идея очень
It
примитивная,
is a very
оскорбляет Бога.
primitive and humiliating idea
Да, Бог создал из любви.
because God, the Father, created this world out of love.
И мы должны научиться жить небесной любовью.
And we need to learn how to love.
Какие бы мы
Heavenly
испытания здесь не проходили.
No matter what challenges we face here on our
Да,
planet.
и кто идет катарским путем,
And those who follow the Cathar path,
тому открывается любовь Мине.
for them, heavenly love Mineh is revealed.
И он становится самым счастливым человеком на
And they
земле.
become the head people on the earth.
Желаем, чтобы Америка была страной Мине.
And we wish America to become the country, the land of sacred Mineh, the heavenly love. Just a little bit more about the Cathar spiritual path, and then you will be able to ask your questions. The Cathars believe that the holiness is lays on the path of becoming entirely kind. The kindness is the focal point of the spiritual path of good people. And it is very important to understand what this spiritual kindness is. We know a lot of examples of earthly kindness, but kindness of our Divine Mother is different. And win, defeat the evil with the power of goodness, we need not human goodness, we need the supreme goodness. As the highest form of love is mineh, the highest image of kindness in Catharism is called bonne, divine kindness. And those who follow the path of becoming kinder should realize and understand the image of lamb of evilness. We know on the parallel the notion of Christ as the lamb, and it means being not touched by evil. Do not use the language of evil. Do not use any means of evil, but use only the language and the power of goodness. This is who our Father is. He has no evil in himself, but only goodness. And on this path, what a spiritual person will face? A lot of blows, a lot of poisoned arrows. We need to extinguish fits of hatred within us, all evil, negative part, to become absolutely pure on the paths of catharsis, which is the path of purification in Catharism. And then we will be able to defeat even our torturers, persecutors, our direct enemies with the power of goodness. And this is who Cathars were and who Cathars are absolute goodness. And this is the golden key to salvation and survival of our planet, of the earth, because any means of evil, of eye for eye, tooth for tooth, weapons, wars, it doesn't work. It only multiplies evil. But defeating evil within us will let us to achieve the great power of knightly, immaculate goodness.
In spiritual path, elders of Catharism pay attention, not only struggle with evil, because it's a very difficult situation, very difficult circumstances, conditions to science to defeat evil. But Catharism makes accent on another, accent on раскрытие,
on the way how to release
goodness, how release mercy.
It's not a sin-centric mentality, but light-centric mentality. Do not think about sins and repentance. This is like a dead end. But how to achieve light. This is the purpose of the
Yes, first of all, from Divine Mother, accept very important thing. We should accept from Divine Mother her virginity, because she is full of virginity. Virginity for us is a presence of Divine Mother. It's her milk, is her love, which
she pours upon humanity.
Нельзя подобреть, не видя идеал подобреть.
To become kinder, it is necessary to have an ideal, the role model of kindness.
Для нас идеал подобрения – это Отец Иоанн.
For us, this role model is Father John.
Это уникальнейший человек.
He's an absolutely unique person.
Очень простой, очень добрый.
He's very simple and very kind at the same time.
Но при этом обладающий такими дарами,
And he has such gifts, spiritual gifts,
которые, наверное, с трудом бы могли раскрыть 10 пророков.
though so many gifts that it would be enough for maybe 10 prophets to bear.
В 1984 году
In 1984,
его избрала премудрость.
he was chosen by the divine wisdom.
Она ему открылась и сказала:
She revealed herself to him and said,
«Мое нежно любимое дитя».
"My dearly beloved child."
Умножаются церкви на земле,
Churches multiply on the earth,
и притом умножается одиночество человека.
and loneliness also multiply.
Я желаю вернуть человечество в духовное христианство.
I want to return humanity into the spiritual Christianity.
Цель не вера, а любовь.
The aim is not faith, but love.
Не догматы, а гнозис небесный.
Not dogmas, but the heavenly knowledge.
Очень много зла в этом мире проникло в человечество.
There is a lot of evil on the earth which penetrated
И я,
humanity.
как мать премудрости, желаю вас родить.
And I, as the mother, divine wisdom, want to give you new birth from above.
Она дала много откровений.
And she, the divine mother, she gave many revelations. to
40
Father John.
книг откровений.
There are 40 books of your revelations.
Когда вы будете читать, будете настолько потрясены,
When you read those books, you will be so amazed by them.
вы вступите в личный диалог
You
с
will
самой
enter
премудростью.
the personal dialogue with the divine wisdom.
И через это происходит подобрение.
And this is how becoming kinder takes place.
Вот здесь у нас есть одна книга,
This is
называется
one of
«Роза
those
Серафима».
volumes. It is called The Rose of the
Это
Seraphites.
несколько книг из этих 40.
It's there are parts of those 40 books of Revelations.
Кто возьмет и будет читать,
Those who read this book,
предупреждаю,
and I want to warn you,
получите ожог сердца.
you will get the burn of your heart.
Но это ожог духовного
But it
сердца.
is the burn of your spiritual heart.
Это ожог любви.
This is the burning of love.
Возьмите и вступите в диалог с премудростью.
Take this book and enter the dialogue with the divine
Откройте для
wisdom.
себя совершенно новые духовные просторы.
Open absolutely new spiritual expanse through this
Как
book.
это отличается от того, что было дано Моисею?
How it is different from what Moses received.
Некто открылся Моисею
Somebody revealed himself to Moses
и сказал: «Я Бог».
and said, "I'm the God."
И Моисей сказал: «Докажи».
And Moses said, "Prove that."
Тогда он сказал: «Засунь руку за
And he
нос».
said, "Put your hand under your
И он засунул.
hand."
Высунул, и рука была вся в язвах.
And all his hand
Гнили.
was rotting.
Испугался Моисей.
And Moses was in
И
shock.
сказал: «Бог, Бог, Бог».
He said, "Okay, you are God."
Язык премудрости другой.
The language of the divine wisdom is different.
Она говорит: «Мое нежно любимое
He says,
дитя,
"My dearly beloved child,
я вела тебя до этой планеты, буду вести после этой
I
планеты».
led you before you came to this planet, and I will lead you after you
Кто
go."
такая премудрость?
Who is the divine wisdom?
Соберите миллион самых прекрасных матерей.
Gather millions of the most beautiful mothers,
Самых добрых, нежных,
the
заботливых.
kindest, caring.
Это даже не будет бледной копией самой
It
премудрости.
would be just a fading copy of that very wisdom.
В древности ее называли мать, питающая молоком мудрости богов.
In ancient times, she was called the mother who nourishes gods and humans with the milk of the divine wisdom.
В Христе она проявилась как Богородица.
In Christianity, she came as Mary, the divine mother.
В исламе она проявилась как Фатима, любимая
In
дочь пророка.
Islam, she was Fatima, the beloved daughter of the prophet.
В буддизме как Бодхисаттва Гуанми.
In Buddhism, as Bodhisattva Kuan Yin.
Почитайте эти уникальные откровения.
Please read these unique revelations.
Another book of Revelation, Immortals, about very high level of Cathars elders who called by immortals. who is immortals, who defeated death, because death is the main enemy of humanity, main enemy. И в тисках страха.
And in paralyzed by that fear, and all humanity is paralyzed by that fear of evil gods.
The main purpose to come to the earth and to learn this great science, to discern, get a discernment between evil and goodness, and through that defeat spirit of death, because spirit of death paralyzed a lot of humanity, and humanity during their life live in this condition and wait all time this spirit, and subconsciously called this spirit of death. Instead, that spirit of immortals, it's immunity of life, immunity of eternal virginity, which paralyzed the spirit of death. And Divine Mother says there is a lot of light, but there are a little bearers of light, and she called humanity. She called her anointed one. She calls her sons and daughters to become a bearer of mercy, spirit of eternal virginity.
This is about Mary Magdalene. She, we call her often Mary Magdalene of Nightingale Mountain. And this is where Virgin Mary stayed for 15 years after the crucifixion. And Mary was one of the apostles and disciples of Divine Mother. And she acquired, she was so eager to acquire the same qualities as Divine Mother. She adored Virgin Mary with an adoration of abandonment. She adored Christ with not as an idol, as a distant divinity, but she adored him with the abandonment of herself. She had no ego, no personality. All she did was love, and she was the first one who received from Christ the seals of this highest heavenly love, Mineh. And she was the apostle of Mineh. She acquired the qualities of Mineh, the wisdom of Divine Mother, her manners, her way of speaking, her purity. And she passed it on to her disciples. And she became the second Divine Mother. She is of a very high level of love, has a high degree of love to bring to humanity. She was the very teacher of the immortals, and she is very much with us. She encourages us to become the apostles of Mineh, to carry this heavenly love to our near ones. And there were two. She was the mother of the Cathar motherhood. The Cathars have always had a tradition of spiritual motherhood. And Mary Magdalene is the proto mother. She is the caring carrier of love, of sacrificial love, of unconditional love, of motherly love. And we have mothers in our communities who are looking at Mary Magdalene and Divine Mother to become the mothers of suffering humanity. And the two other mothers, main mothers. One is Mother Euphrosynia. She was the spiritual mother of Father John. She taught him everything. She developed our spiritual practices as we know today. And she is equal to Mary Magdalene. These are the mothers of our new civilization. And the third mother, you should speak about, yes, Apollina.
María Magdalena era la reina de la adoración. ¿Qué es adoración? Ella, la primera vez que vio a Cristo, sintió esta elevadísima adoración, este fuego, este amor miné como fuego, quemó todas sus partículas del mar. Ella se divinizó por esta adoración y ella es la maestra de la adoración-divinización. No solo a Cristo, sino a todos los humanos. Porque ¿dónde está Cristo después de que Él se fue? No solo en el grial, sino también en el interior de cada uno de los humanos. Entonces, esta escuela de adoración dice que hay que ver solo las cosas buenas del prójimo, solo lo maravilloso ante los ojos de nuestros padres celestes que somos. Y el mal, el rencor, la envidia, todo esto no mirar, solo mirar la bondad que hay dentro del ser humano. Y de esta forma yo me divinizo porque me hago mejor persona, a no juzgar, y tú ayudas a divinizar a la otra persona, porque cómo ante tus ojos de adoración la otra persona se va a comportar. Los cátaros miraban con esta adoración, por eso se extendió en la Edad Media con tanta rapidez. Y así vivían muchos pueblos, y así somos dignos de este amor miné, dignos de esta forma de vida. Y nosotros venimos a América a decir a los americanos que tenemos que recuperar esta visión de nuestros padres celestiales, esta vida bondadosa de amor, de paz, de libertad, de igualdad, porque es lo que nos merecemos. Y os invitamos a través de los libros, a través de la música de Padre Juan, de empezar a alimentarnos de esta leche, porque el Padre Juan, a través de todo esto que tenemos aquí, que son tesoros, nos da de alimentar de la leche que hablaban antes ellos, esta leche que nutre, que nuestra madre nunca nos abandona y nos nutre con esta leche. Y aquí tenéis esa leche para alimentaros y para empezar a cambiar en vuestro interior estos compuestos y para empezar a mirar de otra forma a vuestros prójimos, a vuestros familiares, a vuestros amigos y así empezar a cambiar el mundo.
Мы приглашаем вас
We want to invite you
в школу премудрости
into
Cathars.
the Cathar School of Divine Wisdom.
Поверьте, мы сказали только 1 миллиардную того, чего
Believe
хотели.
it's just 1 out of a billion of those great ideas which we were able to convey today.
Регулярно каждую неделю мы будем проводить такие встречи.
Every week we'll have these seminars, webinars.
Кто-то будет по интернету.
Some may watch it
Но кто-то
online
будет вживую.
or in person.
Приглашаем всех приезжать, потому что есть вещи, которые передаются от сердца к
We
сердцу.
invite everyone to come to meet us in
Yes,
America,
Lord.
in Spain, because there are such a things which can be broadcasted from heart to heart, not through words.
Добро пожаловать в школу
Welcome to
премудрости.
the School of the Divine Wisdom of the Cathars. And one more prayer to bring the sphere of our beloved mother. In Zoroastrianism, or how we call Catharism, Christ Zoroastrianism. It has a very deep meaning, sense, and a very great message. We worship our Goddess Virgin Mother as Ardvisura Anaita. It's the same as Ahura Mazda. It's one of the most authentic names which bring huge bliss and grace. So we dedicate our meditation, our prayer.
Great name, which means power of immaculacy. And we should call this power of immaculate and become absolutely immaculate. Адверсура Анаита, матенька моя родная, книга жизни золотая, река жизни соцветий, утро сварога в рассвете. Адверсура Анаита, матенька моя родная, книга жизни золотая, река жизни соцветий, утро сварога в рассвете. Spirit, energy, power of Father of pure love. Spirit, energy, power of the new Holy America. Spirit, energy, power of the Father of pure love. Spirit, energy, power of the new Holy America.
Дарим вам эту молитву.
We give you this Cathar prayer.
Thank you. Желаем, чтобы огонь
And
умножался
wish
в
you
катарстве ваших
that
сердцах.
Cathar fire multiply in your hearts.
Катары огненные.
Cathars, they are fiery.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you.
Если у вас какие-то вопросы,
If you have any questions, we are here to answer.
что-то может непонятно было,
Maybe
с чем-то
you
вы
didn't
согласны,
understand
не согласны,
something you agree
что-то
with.
пояснить.
We need to maybe to explain something in more details. Please.
Or next time.
Yeah.
I asked you so many questions beforehand.
Yeah. We still need to answer them in more details.
Yeah,
Yeah, so I think, so I mean, I talked to Isabella and Mina a lot about a lot of things, but so, Cathars don't necessarily reject other, or the, all the other religious belief systems. It's just that there's obviously corruption in essentially all of them, but you do recognize the truth that there originally was in the other systems.
Все, но правильно я понимаю, что вы признаете факт того, что все религиозные деноминации, они подверглись порче, но одновременно вы признаете их аутентичность, их изначальность.
Да?
Yes, that's true. That's it.
Мы желаем всем нашим добрым деноминациям, церквям, школам
We wish to all churches, denominations, schools
откопать сокровища духовные
to dig and find the spiritual treasure
и удалиться от элементов смешения.
and to escape all these elements of mixedness with evil.
Премудрость она мать всех.
Divine wisdom is the mother of all.
И для нас важно такое братство между всеми.
And we value very much the brotherhood between the people of the earth.
Но сейчас открывает то, что никогда не открывал.
Although the divine wisdom reveals something which she never revealed before.
В этом универсальность.
And this is what is special and universal in Catharism.
Милостью просим.
Thank you.
В наш центр и в наше сердце.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Let's together build Храм Мира,
The temple of peace
Temple of Peace.
for all the world.
Yes, the main temple of Templars. Temple of Peace. Yes, we invite you in our temple. What is the Temple of Peace? It's Universe Temple. Our galaxy is Temple of Peace. Milky Way. Yeah. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.